A necropolis is a cemetery, especially a large one, belonging to an ancient city, the old world. Where did this previous civilization go? I believe that we are unlocking this today. We see that the Vatican Necropolis, Rome, can be found between 5 and 12 meters below the St. Peter's Basilica, an underground burial site, especially a large one, the necropolis. What have we just unlocked on this channel? What are we showing to the world? The St. Peter's Basilica is a palace from the old world. This is the location that holds a necropolis 5 to 12 meters below its floors. This palace's construction, beginning in 1506, a civilization that we have shown, according to the mainstream narrative, were struggling to just find food. There was no Walmart, and they had dirt roads, all while wiping with their hands in the front yard and sleeping in sheds. This community just had some spare time to do some pottery and build a palace. This history lesson that we've all been told is complete nonsense at this point. The narrative is leaving out something massive, a very powerful, extremely advanced, worldwide population that was here before us. A group that was not suffering in winters. This group was obviously way more advanced than we are today. And after 107, now 108 episodes, we all know this, with so much going on below the St. Peter's Basilica. Could you imagine really going down there and seeing what's actually underneath the floors and not just what's written about it? Telling us that the original St. Peter's Basilica was built in 7 years, in the year 326 to 333. Pinning these dates down on the dot. This is 1,698 years ago. Again, on the dot. And we all know that this palace, the one that's here today, is 100% the original. There were not other basilicas here in this spot. Now saying that the basilica was built on top of the necropolis, exactly like we've seen with the catacombs, where the catacombs and the necropolises aren't looking so different after all. Both being built on top of the old world civilization that's buried below our feet. Why is this the location that you would want to build a church? Do you really want to build a church on top of millions of bones? Why is this a good place to worship? Is it because it's acceptable in society? So much so that we all buy tickets to go see them. But if Walmart or Kentucky Fried Chicken decided that they are going to do this over and over, even if they decided to build their place on top of a cemetery, a very small one, we would all find that very odd. But as long as a church does it, everything's okay. Can you see very clearly now? Do you think that we would all go to this Kentucky Fried Chicken? Would we all say, yeah, that's okay, Walmart, go ahead? Do you think that this is an operation? Do you think that it's a great way to hide the fact that these bones belong to the hidden past? I do believe so. Containing the tombs of many popes and might contain the bones of St. Peter. Is St. Peter and all of these other characters mentioned that we've seen in the past, these individuals, are these powerful characters from the old world? And what else is down there that we just aren't being told about? Do they actually know where these characters are really located? Have they found the old world technology that I believe is buried with these individuals? Texts that explain so much more about this world that we all live in. What is the motive to keep this information a secret? These so-called myths, we have proven so many times that they turn out to be real. We just showed this in Mexico in episode 106, part 2 of this series, Under the Necropolis, where the legends became fact. Secret tunnels, all connecting to the biggest pyramid in the world that's buried under grass. This is part 3 of this series, and I have been waiting a very long time to show this site. We had to walk through so many different locations and get a full understanding of this topic before exposing this today, because I believe that this would have shocked people in the beginning. And if you're just joining along today with this episode, I personally suggest watching the first 107 episodes because here we go. The Vatican Necropolis, located beneath the St. Peter's Basilica, is a burial ground where it is estimated to hold thousands of remains. And before we go any further, did you know that the St. Peter's Basilica was sitting on top of thousands of remains before this research? Were you aware that the old world is under so many palaces? Did you know that they hid them? With words like catacombs and necropolises, these are keywords, unlocking it all. And do you think it's just thousands? With the first excavations taking place once again in our timeline in the 1940s. We have seen this every single time. Nobody's excavating anything in 1492. Never in 1680. It is repeatedly after 1800. This 1940s excavation uncovered dozens of tombs, mausoleums, and ossuaries, or in other words, containers for bones. Lots of people, thousands of burials, and I want to clarify, we all know that there is more. Just discovering all of this in 1939. It hasn't even been 100 years yet, where workers stumbled upon the necropolis. Our civilization is the finders, just stumbling upon this stuff for the last 200 to 300 years. This was all constructed before we all got here, and I want to make that clear. It is being repurposed, reused, and explained away with ridiculous stories for adults. Finding it in 1939, and then pinning down the date of 326. This is not sounding logical anymore, is it? This necropolis covers 53,800 square feet, a burial network, all below the current floor of the St. Peter's Basilica, Rome. Over and over we see this, and we have seen so many times that these are so much bigger than we are told. And you might say, why do you keep suggesting that there's more? They're telling us the truth, and I know this because they told me so. Well, yes, people are allowed to visit the Vatican Necropolis, but access is highly restricted and controlled. Restricted and controlled. What? Yes, there are areas within the Vatican Necropolis that are off limits to the public. Even during the guided tour, many tombs are preserved and inaccessible to protect the mainstream narrative. Preserving the narrative. We have shown this. Reserving other sections only for archaeologists and preservationists. Who are these people? A group called preservationists. Is this a group we need to look into? Let me know in the comments. Considering what we know about preserving and protecting now, I'm going to take a wild guess, but I would say that this is something that we have planned for the future. And because some parts of the necropolis are highly sacred, you know, the good stuff, the things that would advance our knowledge on this topic, things that everybody should know, things that everybody should be able to see. Our access is restricted over and over, and they only allow the clergy, researchers, or Vatican officials in there. Now, what kind of researchers are allowed to see this? Are we not also researchers? You would need to submit a formal request contacting the Vatican office for archaeological studies, explaining your research purpose. Do you think we have a chance? We would also need to provide documentation, proof of our affiliation with an academic or research institution. In other words, do we work for the mainstream narrative? And then we have to await approval to make sure our research aligns with their interests. Do we align with the mainstream narrative? Do you think we align with their interests? Are you having fun? Do you enjoy the truth? Please hit that like button and subscribe if you're enjoying this content. This information is now being brought to the public every single Saturday Because of all of you, because of our sponsors, because of our Patreons, our badge members, we have a team here producing an episode every Saturday, upgrading our equipment, our office space. We all know that it costs money, and I am so thankful for all of your support, and we are just getting started. Welcome to episode 108 of My Lunch Break. I hope you're all having a great day, and if you're new, welcome. And I want to thank all of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to FlatEarthDave.com. You can check out his app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac app. I'll put the link right in the description. And you can use my referral code, MLB. If you click the Tartaria button, you'll see the My Lunch Break playlist right here. The app is awesome. Thank you to Rebecca Kay, The Lady Lacey Show, David and Sherry Ferguson, Edwin Johnson, Chuck Templeton, Joy Lee, Stephanie Nolan, The Burlesons, Suez KC, Edwin Rice, Helmut, Charles Kruger, Don Gaston, Dan Woodall, Dale, DJ Clicktrack, Edward and Brianna, Jacob Law, Jim Ribley and Christine Duggan, Kyle Glascock, BKTFnews.org, Dendries NL, Natalie Shippenoff, Amberson EMC, HK Sue, Melissa Edgar, Biggles, Clayton Lamar, Double Task Homestead, John Adams, Roberts O'Zolins, Phoenix Art, The Arnolds, Attila Power, VKH Bonner, Bell's Clarions for God, Forbidden Gecko Love, Justin Grobner Grubb, Leah Strong, Dakota Dunn, Eric Martinez, Ivan Apostolic, Jim Bro, EggardT-shirts.com, Meta, Jason Hochberg, Marie C, ValleyMedicinals.com, Kyle Logan, Alina and Chris the IT Guy, Michael Dingyu, Patriot Armory, Tom O'Hara, Michael D. Connor, C3SCOB, Ancient Tallow, Jeffrey Temple, SonyaDane.com, James Alton, Bucksui, Jason Prest, Suki Warrior, We the People, Migs, Miss Rex's Murphy, Mark Chapman, Muji and DeClan, Ariana Oates, Jenica Joyce, Nathan Burba, Ski, Codrenth, The Sovereign, Beacon of Truth, Liberty's Arborist, Thomas Thorpe Peterson, Zinger Coffee and Tea, Natasha C, K Moore, DevlinMcGregor.com, Miss Fox, Diamond Jewel, David Rauschenbach, Emily Maryland, Felipe, Curious Cat, Mike D, etc., Dan McGee, Lori Hedvig Johnson, Terry, Paraplegic Coffee, Ellie Annie, Ivan Apostoli, Seth Craigo, D Woods, Glenn Gunderson, Mousie's Mouse Cheese Records, James Vincent, Robert's Brain is Gone, Extreme Reality Check, Anna and Marley Valdez, Wayne T, Late for Dinner, Wanakar Camo, Paolo Goncalves, G Power, Papa One, Jesse De Leon, Blake, Rick Tapke, Ducks, MDF TFV, Billy Prater, William Richard Jeffries V, Frizz Tickle, Dax Billcheck and Son, Jetski Chuck, Kim Lusada, Rod Way, Checkmate, Dylan Mugenberg, Leonard Insalacro, Martha Wooten, Robert Petro, Katz Hill, Bruce Latour, Susie Q, Yark 143, Sven Eric, Andrea J. Kerrigan, Janet Elizabeth, Dr. Mom, Lisa Boutwell, Carrie, Kitty Kitties, Making Eagles, and Patriot, Doc Halo, Henry's Mom, Vince Moreno, Shiba Shaba in the Darkness. You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a lot. Beyond the known burial sites of what the public can see, there are tales of unmarked or hidden tombs, said to contain the remains of individuals whose identities were deliberately erased from history. What do you know? Erasing the narrative, not giving us the truth. Yet we are supposed to trust this group, and we're crazy if we don't. No, hiding relics and artifacts within the necropolis, suggesting these items were deliberately hidden to protect the church, all according to them. And again, we're told that artifacts that challenge established church teachings or provoke debate may be withheld to avoid confusion or controversy. Hiding artifacts that they found to avoid controversy. How is this allowed? How is this even close to allowed? And why in the world After hearing this and seeing it, would one person ever believe a story that is deliberately withholding artifacts, information that would spark a debate? At this moment, every single person should have open eyes. Every single one of us should be able to see that the narrative that we have all been force-fed is flawed. It is molded to support a narrative that hides the truth. It hides what really happened here, where we all live. What artifacts were found that would cause confusion or controversy? These are the artifacts that we should all be able to see today. This is incredible. The Vatican is also home to the Vatican Apostolic Library, housing over 1.1 million books and 75,000 manuscripts. Who can access this? All of us? Of course not. No, we cannot. It is not open to the general public. Only scholars, researchers, and qualified individuals with legitimate research purposes, these are the people that are granted access. Are you still on the fence? Do you still trust what you've been told? Me and you are not granted access, and me and you need special permission to see the true history, the true past about this place that we all live. And this is no longer a debate. The story that we are all given is fabricated. It's all controlled, and we have now 100% proven this. The only way for the narrative to be trusted is for it to be fully transparent, and we all know that that's not going to happen. Often confused with the library that we just talked about, the Vatican Apostolic Archives is a separate entity and holds historical documents. Again, I've been waiting to release this for a reason, and I think that we all know why. So let's go deeper. The Vatican Secret Archives, which has been renamed to the Vatican Apostolic Archives, are a highly secure and restricted collection of historical documents housed in the Vatican. All of this is on top of the necropolis that is also blocked off from all of us. So what is inside? 53 miles of shelving, 53 miles of old world texts with so many records still undisclosed, where only approved scholars and researchers with specific projects are allowed entry. And even then, access is limited to certain materials. The public cannot view these archives, which fuels theories about potential hidden artifacts or relics. Are we right or are we right? 53 miles of old world items and texts, all contained within its underground vaults and rooms beneath the Vatican City. Remember, this is all public information. The public just didn't care. Until now. Spread across numerous chambers and passageways. Can you even imagine what is below our feet? Could you imagine seeing this? Can you imagine what is in there? What books does this place have that would cause a debate and challenge their mainstream narrative? Why is it all blocked off from all of us? It's incredible that we all live here, yet we aren't allowed to see what they have found. Why is this? Why is one person born with the authority to tell everybody else, you aren't allowed to see the truth, and I am? At this point moving forward, the mainstream narrative will never be trusted at all, until of course these 53 miles of books and artifacts are open to the public. We should all be able to see what is in there. In 1881, our timeline yet again, Pope Leo XIII allowed limited access to scholars for the first time, where I believe that this is flipped. I believe this was the point, that they actually acknowledged that it was there and officially blocked it off from the public. I want to make this clear. I am always open to changing my mind if brand new evidence presents itself. I'm not set in my ways of thinking. If one day the Vatican said, come on down and read all of our books, it all proves that we aren't lying, then I would definitely be open to that. But I think we all know that isn't going to happen. The 53 miles of books is blocked off for a reason. By admitting the books are there, yet still blocking us off from them, the church has positioned itself as the protector of the mainstream narrative. Is this the group that is producing the Book of Lies? The protectors of the narrative. They wanted to take on this role in the 1800s. I believe it's the time to reveal the truth. These lies might have been really cool in 1881. This might have been the cool thing to do back then. Times have changed. It's now 2025. We all know that there's 53 miles of books underground. We all know there are places that are blocked off from the public that would show a much more incredible past than what we have all been lied to about, the truth. If I were this group, I would flip the script. I would begin to show the truth. I would expose the truth. Exposing the truth is so much more fun than telling a lie. Thank you to all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber, and everybody who likes these episodes. Right when you hit that like button, I can see brand new people coming in instantly to see this channel. I can't believe we're over 400 badge members. You have no idea how much all of your support helps this channel. I'm very thankful, and I always will be. We have so many incredible things on the way. We're on YouTube, Rumble, X, Instagram, TikTok, Rockfin, and Spotify. I personally believe at this point there are markers, such as the date of 1612, that symbolize the beginning of our current timeline, the whole process of setting up our civilization. Anything before this date is complete fairy tale in my opinion, where the first century, the church had already acquired and begun to assemble a sizable collection of records, where they needed it for administrative work. And this resulted in loss of items. This is nonsense in my opinion. It's made up. In 1612, they tell us that they assembled a place to put the records. I don't believe that they constructed anything. I think this is the point in which they found all of the books from the old world, all underground, within this network under our feet. Or then they just skip right to the 1800s, when things actually started to happen in our timeline. Before this, the place was empty, and we have shown this. So of course there's nothing to talk about in 1710, because nobody's here. Scholars must know what they are looking for in advance. Access is granted only to specific files or documents based on their research topic. So even if you're on Team Mainstream Story Hour, Team Hammers and Chisels, and Donkeys Incorporated, which I do like Donkeys Incorporated, but if you're on the side of Hammers and Chisels, you can't just go down there and search through the catalog of old world books. You have to know exactly what you're looking for, and they'll go down there and get it for you. If you are approved, of course, where researchers must apply and justify their need to access certain materials. Nothing like being transparent. For those that think, oh, they wouldn't lie to us, they probably don't have any books down there that would change my mind. I believe that it's time to reconsider. There's clearly so much hiding going on. Some sections of the archives remain off limits to everybody. So let's just be honest at this point. There is information in here that would expose that these historians worldwide are completely wasting their time studying and then regurgitating all the nonsense. This so-called profession is as good as reading Tinkerbell to the kids. And honestly, Tinkerbell, it might be more truthful at this point. Can you believe what we've found in the first 108 episodes? Can you believe the amount of information that has just been sitting here in front of us, waiting for all of us to see it? This is a game, in my opinion. It's so clearly obvious that there are clues, hidden keys, and connections that I believe has all been laid out for someone to find it and connect it all and then show it to the world. There are so many sites in every continent that hold the same exact keys. All of the old world sites are filtered through the same point, in my opinion. They are written by the same source, and the source controls exactly what is allowed to be exposed. We have exposed this. The necropolis underneath this place, the library underground. These things are not the only things under this city. It is a massive network of underground tunnels, structures, and we all know this, especially when we are all told that the Vatican Apostolic archives are believed to be connected underground with other parts of the Vatican City. The archives are connected to other parts of the city? This is what we're told. This is unbelievable. These connections include the St. Peter's Basilica, the Vatican museums, allowing for the secure transport of documents or artifacts. And then we are told that many administrative and religious buildings within Vatican City are interconnected through underground tunnels and pathways, facilitating discreet movement and secure communication. Also connecting to private vaults. There are underground vaults and repositories where sensitive documents, artifacts, and relics from the old world, this is where they are stored. Let me know in the comments, will you ever look at this location the same ever again? Can you believe what we have found? All beneath our feet. Like I always say, once you know, you will never go back to not knowing. This is worldwide. This is in every city, every country, and there is so much information that we are not being told. So many places that would be incredible to show the world. If there was a group out there that decided that it was time to change and expose the truth to the whole world, it would be incredible. But for now, we are here today. We know that these places, this information about our true past, is being deliberately hidden from us, and we know that it's there, and we are not allowed to see it, and I'm not sure that we ever will. But what I do know is that we are exposing these facts to the world. We are showing that this is all taking place, and has been for so long, and we are exposing the patterns, the dates, the keys. And as we continue to go further, more and more and more people will have open eyes, and we will all be able to see that what we are being told is not the truth. We will all have a much deeper understanding of this place that we all live. And when we visit these places, we will all know that a donkey riding cowboy, this guy didn't build it in a week, with no training and no power tools. I believe the more people that see this information, the less people are going to go into History 101 and take that up as their future profession. As we grow, the kids in the class will easily be able to expose the nonsense in real time in the classrooms, because the lie is so ridiculous. A lie has so many flaws, and we are growing for a reason. The truth is so powerful, and it's fun and exciting. Where the Vatican Necropolis was used for a very long time, probably 2,000 years ago, maybe, profiting again off of this burial site. We saw this in New York as well in episode 77. Remember, we were told that this location is connected to the Vatican museums. Right over here to the right, zooming way out. Here is the museums, and here is the Vatican. Can you even imagine what is going on under the ground here? If you were able to remove the layer of ground right here and see what's underneath it, I think that it would change everything. Right here in this location alone, I believe that this area would change the world in a second, if all you did was just expose what's underneath it. Now let's zoom back here. How many of you think that this building is connected to the Palace of Justice? Take a look at this for a second. Knowing what we know about this area, who really thinks that this palace was built between 1888 and 1910 and needed a restoration project in 1970? A restoration project that just randomly leads to excavations and unearthing several archaeological finds, including sarcophagi skeletons. When we all already know that there is a necropolis right here in this location. The whole thing was filled with the old world. They didn't find any of this in 1888 when they supposedly built the palace? Come on. This is how a lie is exposed in a second. We all know that they would have found this necropolis in 1888, not in 1970 during a restoration project. This is backwards. The old world is under the entire location here, in my opinion, finding bones all over the place. And we know that it wasn't just one person. We all know this. What an incredible location for our research, with so much not being shown to us today, with an admission that some artifacts from the old world remain, but so many were destroyed. And I don't believe that they destroyed them. I believe that they have them. I believe these old world items are very much alive and well, and are being taken great care of. You wouldn't destroy the incredible technology of the past. You would keep it, and then you would say it's destroyed, and you would use it, and then you would sell it back to the public whenever the time is right, and you would control the narrative. You would say that you created it, and this is exactly what you would do. I believe that this is what has been done. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'll be back next Saturday with so much more. See ya.